welcome to Infamous, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or Mutilus on the forum.
This is Parker. Go by Dr. Mantis Toboggan MD on forums.
This is Jeremy. Haven't been on the internet. I refuse. Maybe 2022 will be better. I don't know.
No internets for you?
No.
Well, I hear that's how you get the virus. You need to stay off.
Oh my god. No wonder I haven't got it. I'm doing good.
I have only Trojans. My computer is basically just one big Trojan. What is it like? Like a Trojan on a Trojan on a Trojan.
Yeah.
Eventually, the bottom Trojan collapses.
It's the only thing keeping my operating system held together because it's so terrible.
At this point, the viruses have all formed like a pact to keep my system running so they can survive together.
Yeah, it's like a petri dish, and they'll just it's a broken petri dish, and they're just holding the glass pieces together because they don't want to die on the floor.
Eventually, my computer will become like one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah,
we are pestilence.
So, have you guys seen the TV show Space Force on Netflix?
Mm-hmm.
I think Parker has.
Yeah,
Jeremy, did you watch it?
I watched the first episode.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it's the first episode, and his dad calls him. I can't remember the actor's name. But he's in a ton of stuff. But he calls that Steve Carell's daughter in the show. And he's like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm just sitting at home." Why? He's like, "Well, I paid the ransom. Did they let you go?" And she's like, "No, you've been scammed." And he's No. This guy was very clear. If I didn't wire him the money, you were going to be executed. And I didn't want you to get executed, honey." And he's clearly has Alzheimer's or something, and he doesn't know what's going on. She's like, "No, Dad, I'm going to send you this article about internet scamming." He's like, No. You can't click on any emails that say the word scam. That's how they get you. This is fucking hilarious. They can't click on emails that say scam in the title. You'll get scammed.
Did you watch the whole series?
I did, yeah.
Was it worth it?
I think so.
Yeah.
The cast is worth it. I think the writing is okay, but the cast can carry just about anything.
John Malkovich is a not hidden gem because he wasn't on any of the promotional materials for it, and then as soon as you see him on the screen, you're like, "What the fuck? John Malkovich is in here!" And not only is he in here, he's in almost every scene. He is in 80% of the show. It's wonderful.
I think they were intentionally holding him back because even the first scene he's in, he's got his face covered for the majority of the scenes. You're like, who is that? And then he moves the book, and you're like, holy shit, John Malkovich is in this.
Yeah.
That's good.
But yeah, it's also got the guy who plays John Ralphio from Parks and Rec, which is pretty fun.
Yes, it does. He basically plays
have a lot of people in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in it. It's definitely worth a watch. Okay, so moving on. This is us. We're doing a podcast. If you're still tuning in at this point, I assume you're used to the tangents. So we're going to get right into it today, though, and definitely not ramble at all. Spoilers. So announcements. Parker is down to 829 probationary episodes, and he owes Jeremy 11 pizza rolls. These pizza rolls can be redeemed at any time for any reason. Parker is not allowed to say the words pineapple or blade or another mystery word that he does not know about. We're doing pretty good on those. You've only said one mystery word so far in, 67 episodes? So, good luck. So, Parker, do you have anything to tell us?
News. So, as it turns out, here's the big news. Huge blockbuster, super important. They dropped this bomb on Facebook, and I think probably Twitter. In 2022. Something we already knew about is going to happen because they posted a picture of the SHIELD logo on the helicarrier, and it's like in 2022, something new is coming to Marvel Crisis Protocol. We definitely didn't already spoil this in the Netherlands.
Well, they didn't spoil it. It got leaked.
Right.
And so I think this is them leaning into, well, it's already been leaked.
I think there must be I think it's wonderful because of the internet. There's a team that actually talks about press releases, and there's another team that must exist in every corporation just designed to find out where the leaks have happened, and so they can tell the press releasers to go ahead and release the press because it's already been released somewhere else on the internet. I love it. But yeah, that's really the only news. Something we already knew about is going to happen. Hulkbuster Iron Man is coming closer. He's almost here. Early January release, right?
Yes, he's supposed to be out on the check notes. 14th.
Wait,
15th. No, 14th. 14th is right.
Couldn't
1 for January.
couldn't come fast enough for me. But
You have to wait an entire 14 days of 2022 to get your hands on one Buster of Hulks.
ugh.
However, this is assuming he doesn't get delayed.
Mhm.
I have reasonable reason. I have a good reason to believe that Juggernaut is not getting delayed, though. Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because nothing stops the Juggernaut.
Oh my god.
Not even COVID.
He did it. Not
Oh.
even. Bad.
That
shipping
actually,
and transit.
that was not scripted. I actually just made that up just now.
That-
I have another stinger for you later.
I believe you. But yeah, that's really the news. We just we hope that things
I
aren't
have
delayed.
I have
and
one
that's
piece
what's
of
happening.
news. I have one piece of news.
What's that?
If you haven't, if you've listened to episode 66, which is our Christmas episode, you should go back and check your downloads because there's a bonus episode.
Mm-hmm.
Bonus episode.
Of Jeremy wishing everyone Merry Christmas in his own special way.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize. I mean, they've known me for a long time, but I was professionally
They didn't realize
trained.
that you taught Mariah Carey everything she knows.
I've taught yeah. You know what? I'm not going to say more. I just want people to enjoy the sultry tones of what what we have produced for them.
Yeah.
Dulcet.
Yes.
I feel like I need to say it for Jeremy because he's too modest to say it about himself. But he has been called the songbird of his generation
Many times
by people that have heard him. So yeah, it's a good time. All right, so that's going to move us into currently playing. Jeremy. Oh wait, what is this? This is not what I expected. Oh yeah, Jeremy, you played some games, right? No?
Yes,
You've been talking about playing games.
I played.
No, he played some games.
I played a game.
Okay.
Yeah, I played X-Force. I played Bobby, and he paid for his sin of beating me a couple weeks ago by taking a thrashing that no one deserved. It was really bad. But yeah, that's all I did. I just played X-Force again. I'm having a great time with X-Force. That's about all.
All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of X-Force, me and Jeremy got into a slightly heated conversation about Wolverine at the Chiefs game. Do you want to talk about this? Basically, I was stating factual evidence, and Jeremy was spouting off about his scribbled list of feelings about a particular model named Wolverine.
It doesn't make him any good.
Do you have any evidence to support your argument, sir?
Yeah, every game he's terrible. Never has he been good.
Never
Stop.
once has Wolverine
Hard
ever
stop.
once been good.
Not
once.
one time.
Yeah.
Could we be fair? You did consent that it is possible for him to start doing things, but you have to be willing to put a little bit more investment, like some tactics cards and things. That I like him because I take tactics cards to enable him.
I think you need to be running exceptional healing with him. But I think we can all agree that exceptional healing is worth its weight if you're running either of the healing factor people.
Correct.
And the X-Force list is generally already playing Sabertooth anyway. And so it's not really a high cost investment at that point. Also, Sabertooth very much likes to have no matter the cost as well, which does synergize well with Wolverine. I don't think it's worth it, but it's an option.
Okay.
Right.
Sure.
All right. He said it. He agrees that Wolverine is good. He said it. All right, moving on.
Like Toy Story 4, that reminds me, exactly like Toy Story 4, Wolverine wanders around saying the word trash and trying to put himself in the trash. That's what he does. Trash. Exactly, that's him.
Did you guys ever see that really old, weird-ass movie where some guy goes crazy and starts shooting people in his neighborhood? It's like this weird, cult, dark comedy, but it's like, is it Cape Fear? There's that scene where the girl starts saying pancakes and it makes no fucking sense. But it's like one of those scenes where the guy goes crazy and he has a pistol and he wanders out in the street and his neighbor's taking out the trash. So he opens the bin, puts his bags in the trash can, and the guy's just standing in the middle of the street when he turns around with this crazy look on his face. He's like, "Garbage day!" And he pulls the gun and the guy's like, "No, no!" And he gets shot. And it's like, what happened? Where did this come from? That's what I think of when I hear trash. Okay, I'll link it in the show notes.
Perfect. Good.
Garbage day. I'll show you guys later. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Oh, no.
I'm sure some people know.
I'm sure we were.
It's it's like the weirdest scenes ever caught on camera, and it's like, why are these in movies? These don't make sense. All right, Parker, what have you been playing lately?
I have. I finally got to play Million Cuts, my little list where I full of little guys, where I go wide with Cabal and Sin and as many different. Um,
Let's be honest. You just take the auto fire people,
Yeah.
like the rapid fire.
yeah, almost
It's
almost
nothing
entirely
to do
rapid
with
fire
Cabal.
people. Yeah,
It's just rapid fire.
yeah, just a bunch of rapid fire people. It's in Cabal, but actually, this is what I found out. Sin's ability doesn't matter all the time because it's basically based on scenario. When it does matter, it's not bad. But even the fact that it's random and it's entirely based on scenarios, if you're planning on playing Sin, just plan on your leadership ability not working. But basically, the leadership ability of the list is Dark Reign and Hood's Gang. And so you're going to get a couple turns where you're going to get way too many rerolls. And the fact that your whole list is rapid fire has some strange bonuses that I didn't see coming. For example, I was playing against, also played against Bobby, and he had a bunch of stun effects. And so my whole list was like, or most of my list was stunned at one point, and I didn't care because everybody has a lower health pool and they're always getting 1 power anyway. So stun just didn't matter. My list doesn't say immune to stun, but it might as well say immune to stun. That was strange. Also, it was highly mobile. Mystique is really good when she's really good. We've talked about her on this podcast, how she's so like hit and miss. The fact that she doesn't have any movement economy is bad. But man, I played her in Deception into Rocket Raccoon, and that poor son of a bitch had nothing to do with her. She just ate him in 2 turns. Like I full deaded him on 1 turn, and then again the next turn, and that was it. The end. There was nothing you could do about it because he can't bodyguard with her ability, and Deception pulled him way too far away from his back line where he wanted to be.
Just to clarify, though, you can't Deception him if he's in bodyguard range, right?
Right. Yeah, so he moved.
Okay. I'm just confirming.
Yes, he moved Rocket first. He could have moved Groot first, and he realized that afterwards. Of course, he had not played against Deception before. I don't think Deception is a gotcha card if you know what it does, but it does. Even if it doesn't force your opponent to move things in tandem, like you're always trying to move things together, and that's something you always have to do. That's another kind of advantage you can leverage. Deception is a very strong card, even while it's sitting there, or when you finally have the ability to play it. Because there's a lot of I don't know if it's always good early game, but there's so many opportunities early game for a long mover to get within range 4 of somebody who's the only person there standing there with the objective. And yeah, it was bad for him. But the I think part of my advantage that game was that he had not seen a lot of my models before. However, I mentioned this last time that one of my favorite things about a list like this is I'm playing a lot of models that people haven't seen before. They're not something that's the top shelf auto include that everybody loves. So I think it's going to give me a slight advantage all the time because people are like, Winter Soldier, Punisher, Sin, and Mystique. Like those aren't characters I get to see like all sitting together all the time. That's and Hood. A lot of people, Hood just came out, but he was just one member of Cabal and Criminals. I don't think people are flocking back to Cabal and Criminals because Hood came out. But he's one of the reasons why I played this list, because he was one more Cabal member with Rapid Fire, and he's got a good card for this list. So I think the list has legs, and I want to keep playing it. It has a bunch of funny things that I didn't expect to happen, and I really like Mystique right now a lot. I don't think she's always useful, but when she's useful, man, is she useful.
Yeah, her passive superpower is really, really good.
Yeah. For those,
it's
go ahead.
It's the problem with Mystique is she's just worse at everything that Punisher does than Punisher is, but she has that amazing pass ability of the shape changer, whatever it's called, where you can't use reactive type abilities on her turn. That's absolutely massive in very specific situations.
Right.
It's like you can't bodyguard, you can't use Vibranium Shield, you can't play Brace, you can't play Recalibration Matrix, you can't use Personal Bodyguard. It's very good, very, very good.
Yeah, I think she is a fantastic key. And in some lists, if you're like, oh man, I only have points to take Mystique or Punisher, yeah, you might take Punisher because he's just going to do more damage all the time. But in my list, I take them both because they both do just fine in the list. Like they're both doing what I want to do. And
you haven't painted your Mystique yet, correct?
No, my Mystique is painted.
It is painted.
Yeah.
Your sin isn't painted.
Yeah, my Sin is not. Yeah. So
you should have someone repaint your Mystique to look like Sin.
yeah.
It would be fucking hysterical. Nobody would ever be able to tell them apart. You deployed them next to each other, and I literally looked at you and said, why do you have 2 Mystiques?
Yeah.
I didn't even consider the fact that one of them could be Sin.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's funny.
I think that's one of the things, like funny unwritten things about lists like this one, where you're playing a lot of things that you don't see on the table at the same time before, and then it all works. But when you put them all down, people are like, okay, I do not know what's going to happen. Like, I don't have a precedent for this. I'm really excited to play this list some more for that reason.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, for what I've been playing lately, I don't know if anybody's been listening, but I've been playing the Sam Spam Avengers list. I haven't played it in the last 2 weeks, though, because I haven't gotten a lot of games in. I've only actually gotten the one game in, which was last night. I played Jake. Jake randomly stopped by the store last night when he was in town, and we played a game on a random whim. He played Avengers, and I wanted to not play Sam Spam into Avengers, because that felt like the most boring game you could ever play. So I played Brotherhood, and I ended up pulling it out, but it was a very close game, even though Jake made some mistakes, because he'd never played Brotherhood before. But it was a lot of fun. I remember how much I like playing Brotherhood. They do a lot of the stuff I like to do. Very excited for Juggernaut. I want my Juggernaut.
What do they? Well, I guess in the game, what were you playing in the game that was Brotherhood? Did you?
The
who did you? I guess who did you have that
was-
wasn't Brotherhood? I suppose is my question.
I literally had to make the list in like 3 minutes, and I didn't have my Assemble app ready, so I had to just throw shit at the wall. So the only people that were unaffiliated were Zemo. No, I didn't. I think I won. Yeah, it was Zemo, Nebula, MODOK, and Sinister were my 4 unaffiliated, to my knowledge. So yeah, we played. What was the extracts? Cubes and Terrigen Clouds. Jake chose 20 points. I played Magneto, MODOK, Sabertooth, Quicksilver, Toad. He played Steve, Hulk, Miles, Vision, and Iron Man. He's played the split scenarios a couple times, like the Mayor Fisk mission, but he hasn't ever like played somebody who goes hard on it, I guess. And so I basically refused flank to the left and then put Sabertooth to hold the right for as long as possible. And he got real big eyes because I put Toad in the middle to get the middle cube fragment and picked it up on my first turn. And so he was looking at it going, oh, I can like double move Hulk up there and throw Toad back towards my army, and then maybe even do it again with Vision, and then get him dead and get that extract back. And he got such tunnel vision trying to make that combo happen that he forgot to just like play the game normally as well. So he ended up putting Vision and Hulk and Iron Man basically all on the right side to the middle. And so they were all kind of devoted to that area where I had Toad and Sabertooth. And Sabertooth ends up contesting the point because he's Sabertooth. There's not really anything you do to get him off the point unless you put Vision over there and go last. And so then the other side of the table is Quicksilver, Magneto, MODOK on the other point. So it's like, you're fucked. Like, you're not going to take that point. And so I got a huge scenario lead early. It was like 9-1 or 8-1, I want to say. It was big lead early. And then he ended up catching up.
He didn't get to throw Toad. Did his plan fail?
He got to do it, but he didn't kill me. And so Toad ended up living through the turn.
Oh.
With like 1 or 2 hit points.
That's really crazy.
Yeah, so he threw me with Hulk, so I took 1 damage from the throw, and then Vision walked up and threw a car at me, and I blocked 2, so he took a total of 2 damage from that. And then I think Cap walked up and threw his shield at him and did like 1 or 2 more damage, and that was it. And so Toad's alive with like 1 or 2 hit points. I was like, okay. And then he, of course, dies instantly next turn, but like he got me a point and wasted a lot of time.
Right. There's a lot of actions on premium models. And,
right.
Yeah.
And we talked about this, and he realized if it was like a meaningful character, that's one thing, but getting a 2-pointer that his only job is to be annoying anyway. Also, because the whole time he's trying to not trigger Slippery at the same time. Because if he just rolls bad and Slippery triggers, the whole thing breaks.
That's right.
And so it was like this, he was so worried about the gotcha stuff, and he's like, you should just ignore him, like, go do something else. Because he was so tunnel visioned on doing that, he ended up letting me get 2 of the other extracts that he shouldn't have let me get. So I ended up with 4 of the extracts on turn 1. versus Avengers with Brotherhood. Like, that should never happen. But anyway, he realized it after the fact, and he had a really good round 3, I want to say. And I got, I think, 0 points on round 3. So
wow.
He ended up being ahead of me on turn 4, but then MODOK was able to go and daze Cap and Hulk at the same time, and all of his other characters were on the other side of the board. So they both, Hulk then dies and Cap flips, and he's basically down to injured Cap, and Magneto is holding 4 objectives at that point. And so he just had no real recourse to come back. But anyway, it was a very fun game. I finally got to play Jake, which was cool.
He was playing the Steve Avengers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, man. That's a really good list these days.
Yeah, Hulk makes that list very different. Oh, I mean, they buffed 3 of the models in it, so that's obviously big.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, well, what's up next? I think we did currently playing hobby projects. I am still trying to put together a convocation. I've been so fucking busy lately. I've had no free time to work on models. I have still got my Stephen Strange here, my Sorcerer Supreme. I put him on a base now, and I assembled Clea, but she's not on a base. That's how far I've gotten in the last week. What have you guys done? Don't judge me.
I'm just sitting there staring, ready to paint things, and I don't know. I've gotten to the point at which now, when I get new models, I actually put them together pretty quickly. I immediately just take them out and clean them and put them together. Almost, while I'm watching stuff with Sarah, and so I've gotten pretty. I am very slowly but surely becoming somebody who actually gets ready to paint things, but I just don't know if I'm ready to
paint solo.
Oh, paint solo. It just sounds good.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So, I won't say that on the podcast. Let's see. I definitely want to get to the point where I have scheduled hobby time where me and Tiffany can just work on our different hobbies at the table together. Mm-hmm. But it's just everything's been so crazy with holidays and the Chiefs season and there's other game stuff going on. Everything's been nuts.
Yeah.
I love football I love Chiefs football so much. It's that precious 20 weeks a year that you get football, but precious. Man, I'm ready for football to be over, man. I want to be able to do stuff on Sundays again.
What about you, Jeremy? Are you all done? Are you all cut up?
Hobby projects?
Lord, no. Just picked up all the Wizards not too long ago, and with me, it's about children and Christmas and holidays. So basically, once we cruise past into 2022, January will be about putting things together and getting them all done. Unfortunately, I just don't give a shit about all the Wizards. I want to get them together and get them done just in case I want to do something. Because, I think Mordo's kind of cool. But there's just lots of other cool stuff that I already have painted. I'm just eh.
Yeah. I kind of want to play them because they're new, but Richard's playing them right now, and I don't think it's good to have 4 people playing Convergence.
If we want to run people out of the store...
Convocation, not Convergence.
Yeah.
If we want to run people out of the store and make them quit the game, everyone can get those fucking Daniel tokens cooking.
What?
Oh, the Brother Daniel. I was I thought you said annual. I'm
no.
Annual? Daniel.
So every table can have a Brother Daniel discussion
I
going
can explain to them why, no matter what logic or fucking language we're using to write these rules in, it doesn't matter. The Brother Daniel token works regardless of logic. Wait, but Dazed characters don't have superpowers. So how is it that his superpower functions while he's dazed? Don't worry about it. It works. And you're well, does it work while he's KO'd then? And you're shit. You're because it's the same word, it's the same effective state. The rule doesn't exist in play. Does the token work? Because I'm pretty sure it doesn't say on his card that you retrieve it when he dies. And so that character will just, if you Brother Daniel, a character, and they're injured, they'll just be Brother Daniel forever. They can't interact anymore. Or if you just Brother Daniel Black Cat, and then just never do anything for the rest of the game and don't attack her. She can't do anything. She can't steal objectives. She can't do any of that crap. It's really, really stupid.
It's a very odd mechanic that I don't know.
I could spend an hour bitching about Black Cat, so I'm going to try and move on as best I can. And it has very little to do with Black Cat and 100% to do with the rules for him. It's just frustrating right now. All right, so moving on to our main topic today, we're going to make our New Year's resolutions. These are going to be Marvel Crisis Protocol centric. Does anybody want to go first? Let's go, Jeremy. Jeremy, go.
Lose 75 pounds. Wait.
Wait, no, shit.
God.
Stop stealing money from the drawer at work. Oh, shit.
Get myself a Peloton. Change my life. Okay, hold on. Wait.
Peloton.
Fuck, join a gym. Wait.
My New Year's resolution is to be an attractive-looking person that's in shape and then get a Peloton and be in a Peloton commercial.
Check.
Got it. Wait, shit.
Mine is literally...
My New Year's resolution is to not get COVID.
Yeah.
That's a bad resolution. Not
shit.
COVID.
Wait, too late. My New Year's resolution is not get COVID for the 4th time.
Oh, God. No. Actually, mine is to spend at least 3 months on each list / combination of list before switching and going ADHD all the time. That's what I want to do.
12 weeks per list? That's a long time.
I don't think so. I think really fleshing it out, switching tactics cards.
I guess at the rate you're playing right now, that's only like 1 or 2 games maybe, so that's probably doable.
Says you. Whatever. You pay it. Get out of here.
Hey, I played a game yesterday. When did you play a game?
I played again. Not yesterday.
Technically, that game ended today, so go fuck yourself.
Probably true. Yeah.
2 a.m.
It is not to give Wolverine another chance. He's out.
This isn't necessarily a resolution, but it's something I'm going to start doing. I'm playing all of my future games on chess clocks.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's just happening. I'm done. Like there's.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I'm back to where I was in War Machine. There's no reason not to do it. We're doing it. Like people need to play faster.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that not your resolution? That sounds
because that's just something I'm doing. It's not a resolution. I'm just fucking doing it. Oh. That's like I'm going to stop stabbing myself in the leg. It's like, that's not a resolution. I'm just going to not do that anymore. Like,
it is. It's tough. It's tough when the moves are so obvious sometimes, and it's just that people get locked up, and it's like, come on, dude.
It's
the
not
4-hour
about...
game is unacceptable.
Yeah, and it's not even that, but like, the game me and Jake played probably should have lasted 45 minutes, but it lasted like 2 hours. It's like, yeah, I had fun playing Jake, but Jake gets very analysis paralysis, but part of it is because he's fairly new to the game. I know he puts in a lot of like mental reps in the game, so he's not just staring at the board going, man, I don't know what to do. At no point did that ever happen. He was always thinking about all kinds of shit he could be doing.
Yeah.
But because there's just too many options. But that you can't spend 10 minutes staring at the board. You can't spend 5 minutes staring at the board. And Jake wasn't bad, and it's not like I'm trying to point out Jake. Jake did play kind of slow, but he's also only played, I think, like 5 or 10 games in person. But yeah, I just think, like, as a community, we need to start playing at a much higher rate, and the clock adds urgency. It's not that it means you can't think, it means that you need to learn how to spend your time resource more valuably. And so when you need to stop and think about something, stop and think about it, but it makes you play fast on all the little stuff that you don't need to think about.
I think also the main thing is it just increases the number of reps. If you translate the chess clock to a second game, what I don't appreciate, and this is one of the things that I think would make me like frustrated by this on the other side, is if I go to a game store, I say, let's go ahead and play on a chess clock. We play for an hour, and the guy goes, well, I got my game, bye, and he leaves at 8 o'clock, and then I go, oh, well, shit, I guess I'm going home too. So that's one of the things I'm talking about like maybe I think you and I would agree, let's play some more. But I think a lot of people come to the game store to play one game and go home.
I don't think that's true, and I think specifically this last week I've noticed it more than anything. Like, Jeremy showed up, he played a game, he's like, yeah, I'm going to stay for another game. But then there were 3 hours went by, and it was like, well, Jeremy's ready to go. Like, Jeremy could have played 3 games today, but he really only got the one.
Right.
And also, like, Bobby is willing to stay there, but, like, we shouldn't be staying till 2 a.m. to get 2 games of a squad-based game in there. Like, it's just taking too long.
Yeah.
That, and I think
Wait.
that preparation and everything is key as well. Like, I think if we can get more of a steady group that has the knowledge of like show up with your shit and we just pull it out. Like, I can't tell you how many times that I've got there and I'm like, got all my stuff, let's go. I got to build a list and all that. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's cool, fine. I mean, okay, but again,
you showed up to game night without a list.
yeah, like I really want, and if I show up without a list, normally I'll just throw the shit together. Let's go.
Well, like, it's because when you get there, you bring your stuff in and you pull your shit out to build a list the second you get there. You're not like, I'll wait for someone to ask me to play. Now, because I'm working on game night, I don't usually assume I'm going to play. And if somebody asks me for a game, I'll go get my stuff. But, like, if I just pull my stuff out on a Thursday, usually what will happen is I'll play the first person in the door, and then the second guy in the door is waiting for a game, which is kind of not cool considering, like, he could have played the guy I am currently playing. Like, that's kind of rude, I think. And so I kind of try and wait until there's obviously an odd man out or someone asks me.
Yeah.
Except for specific people that I refuse to ever play.
So what's your resolution then, Brandon?
Well, I guess we could say it's the clock thing. I don't know that it needs to be restricted to one resolution.
Sure.
But yeah, the clock thing is definitely something I'm doing. And so I'm going to make a very conscious effort to do that. The thing I'm actually the most excited for is I have a lot of like back burner projects that I just keep pushing further and further down the road. And I've always been bad about that. And so I'm going to try really hard this year to not like leave stuff behind. I'm going to try and actually keep going with projects. Like one example is like I was doing those panels, basically the Rivals panel. And so I would do like little dioramas for the like what a release of characters, something I liked. So I did one with Venom and Spider-Man. I did one with the Black Order. I did one with Magneto that isn't finished yet. So I need to finish the Magneto one, and I want to start making more of those. I think I went a little overboard with the Magneto one. I've already like probably 50, 60 hours in on that one, and it's not even, there's paint on it yet. So that was probably a bit my fault, is I just made the project too big, and I didn't have time to actually finish it. And also, like, COVID happened in that meantime, and, I've just been busy. And that's not really an excuse, but I want to be more consistent about my hobby time. And another aspect of that is like the battle reports. I have probably 20 or 30 battle reports on my computer that I need to edit and get posted, but football season started and I used to do it on Sundays, and I just like between tailgating and podcast editing and all this other stuff, I just don't have time to do it. So anyway, that's what I want to do. I want to be a lot more consistent about my hobbies. I want to have more scheduled, rigid times where I hobby. Because what I tend to do is go, I'll just do that at some point this weekend.
Yeah.
And then I look up and it's Sunday afternoon and I go, oh, well, I'm watching the Chiefs game tonight, so guess that's next week. And I don't even think, like, I could have done it because I sat down and watched an entire season of, like, fucking, I don't know, Always Sunny or something, like, instead of doing what I was supposed to be doing.
What I've done also, that I used to do this, and I'm getting better at it, it's not really a resolution because I'm getting better at it, is I'll watch, like you said, I'll watch something on television, I watch Netflix, or I'll be on YouTube or something, and be like, why was I watching this without putting together a model? Like, how dumb.
Yeah.
Like, I should
I could have been editing a battle report while doing this, or assembling models while doing this. Like, I could have been doing 100 things.
Right. Yep. And so I just thought, I was like, why don't I just do that? And so now I actually have been able to just be like, I'm just putting the models, like I have a little table like in front of my TV. I just put, when I buy the models, I bring them home, I put them on that table. So just, they're going to be here when I sit down to.
So you have ready access and visual stimuli when you sit down to watch TV.
Right. So I'm just
That's
like,
a good idea.
this is where it is. This is where it goes. It's not going some other place that I hide them, and then, like you said, they become backburner stuff.
So Parker, and I think maybe even Jeremy does, I have the assembly table behind me in the camera. It's like a big dining room table that I have like set up for 3 people to model at. But I normally do all my modeling over there, but I was doing stuff on my computer. I think it was like editing the podcast or something. And I was like, man, I really need to work on models. So I actually brought a lot of my model tools over to my desk and was assembling Strange and Clea at my desk while also editing the podcast. Because I've been so desperate to get these fucking models built. So Jeremy said, did you actually give a resolution, Jeremy? What was yours?
Play something for 3 months. right?
Oh, that's right. That's right. And so I said clocks and consistency on hobby time. Parker, what's your resolution?
My resolution is I kind of have two. One's a silly one and one's a real one. My first one is actually very similar to what you guys said. Play 2 games a game night. I want to play 2 games a game night, and that means it means getting there before 9 o'clock, which is something I can do. Like in my life, like I could move it a little bit faster, but I don't because I'm used to my regular routine. But I could move it a little bit faster to get there by 7:30 instead of 9:30, and so like that's one thing. Just getting my thumb out of my ass on game night, and getting there at a good time where I can start things faster. Because I found that even if I could play 2 games, it's not always possible that everybody's excited to stay there for a second game because I'm there. If I'm there at 9:30, even if the game
you get there at 9:30, you start the game at 10. Your game ends
Yeah.
at 11:30. Nobody
Yeah.
really wants to start a game at midnight.
Right, and so that's something that I want to do, and also. So part of that's going to be also like the clock, like putting things on the clock so I can make sure the game gets done in a timely manner. Other things, the last 2 times we were there, after the game, we still hung out and chatted till 2 o'clock in the morning. And I went, why weren't we playing a game? And so I'm thinking about that too. That being said, that's my main one is I just want to get more games in. I feel like the only thing I'm missing with this game right now is reps, because like Jeremy said, he said something earlier. It's like, we all know what to do. We all know what's going to happen. It's so obvious. To me, it's still not so obvious. I'm still struggling with that analysis paralysis. And I think going underneath the clock and just playing more games is going to help me with that. Like, I felt like I didn't need to think about Mystique very much. Like, I always had a plan for Mystique in this last game. But I had no idea what Winter Soldier should be doing, and I had to figure it out the entire game. So things like that. And my other silly thing is, I know this is kind of a silly one, is I really want to play the X-Men. I have never touched any mutants in this game with a 10-foot pole. And I kind of want to play the X-Men. And I know part of 2022 is going to be the X-Men are coming out, like with so many other new X-Men coming out. But I have been in the mind of a genius all Christmas break long. I've been reading all of Jonathan Hickman's head writing stuff with all the Krakoan X-Men's. And I've been living in mutantdom for the past, 48 hours. I've just read and read and read and read, and every time I'm just like, why am I not playing mutants in this game? And I guess because it's ice skating uphill right now.
Yeah,
but I'm really excited to play more X-Men, and I guess I have played X-Force, and that's mutants, a lot of mutants. But I want to play the X-Men. I think it'll be a ton of fun, so I'm excited.
X-Force is not X-Men in this game, by the way.
No, not even close.
They're very different.
Yeah. I kind of want to find out what it is. Yep.
Parker's going to try and play more than one game on game night. That's a big step for Parker. I don't think he's ever done that in the history of people. Jeremy, do you have any others? Are you just good with the one?
I mean, I'm pretty regimented when it comes to modeling and kind of how I do that stuff.
Yeah, you don't really have a trouble getting your stuff done
No.
normally. This is probably the longest you've gone without getting your shit done.
There was I don't know what happened. Oh, because we didn't play for a long time. I had 22 model backup, which was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
But,
I remember that. You sent me a picture, and you're like, there's like fucking 30
This is
guys
stupid.
in the pile. You're like, why am I painting this all at once?
But we got to figure out another convention or something to go to. That's what I want to do next.
Well, it can't be the Las Vegas closed.
The Clopen.
Get it? Because they won't let us go.
Las Vegas lockdown.
Las Vegas lockdown. That would be a fun convention. Yeah, so I guess we'll leave the New Year's resolutions there. But Parker, in reference to what you said about we ended up staying till like 2 a.m. anyway, that's the thing I think I've missed the most out of the COVID period, because we kept playing games. We didn't play as often, and we would only play when nobody was around. But we still played games, and we saw each other. But we didn't do the casual shoot the shit. It was always to business and done. And that's what's kind of been coming back over the last 2 weeks to a month, is the casual stop bys. Jake shows up, David shows up, Richard will just hang out all day. And so people will come by and then we'll just start talking about nothing. And that's the fucking best. Just shooting the shit for 3 hours. You get on these random tangents. You start about video games that you played 10 years ago. Like, oh man, that's like the best game store atmosphere, and that's mostly been gone for the last year or two. Like, there hasn't been that casual, just shooting the shit conversations for a long time. Because, like, you remember, I know that you guys have had this, but I used to do this all the time. I was always the last one to leave the game store on game night, even before I worked there. And so, like, we would sit in the parking lot after they close. Like, let's say they closed at 11 p.m. We would be in the parking lot till 3, 4, 5 in the morning, just talking about dumb shit.
Yeah, we've done
like
that.
Just hanging out. Yeah.
We've done that a lot about, books. We've done a lot of stuff about books.
Books, old video games, stuff like that. Yeah, those were always fun. So I've been kind of in that mode over the last 2 weeks, and so, like, I'm not super excited to play games. I just want to hang out with people. Mm-hmm. It's like, it feels like we're finally getting back to, like, the frat party, like, mentality, where it's like everyone's, like, part of the group. Anyway, cool. Well, we got a little bit of a New Year's resolution to go in there. Does anybody have any wild speculation for 2022 that they want to throw out there as, like, I called it?
Ooh, oh man.
I think they're going to come out with a tournament resource.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, there's too many, I don't know, gray areas, which those folks don't dig gray areas. They're pretty good about that.
Mm-hmm. I don't think there's necessarily gray areas. I mean, the gray areas that exist are definitely in the, like, organized play issues, where it's like, what happens if somebody's stalling? What happens if somebody messes up? Like, the stuff that doesn't exist within the rule set, because the whole point of it is that you're not within the rule set anymore. I think I would really like to see them make a change to the way that they do the forum rules right now. I think the forum rules have been really bad over the last 6 months. Generally, just, like, the decisions that are being made on, like, the could go either way calls, like, that's really annoying to me. But also, like, just the concept of having a rules forum, I really disagree with. If things are being asked on the rules forum, and it's not, the rules forum should be there to help people follow the rules. It's like, oh, well, like, what happens if I throw a car and it lands on top of somebody? What orientation is it in? Well, you don't understand how the throwing rules work. Let me show you how they work. That's what the rules forum should be for. It should not be for, does Brother Daniel's abilities work while dazed? Yes. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, why is the game changing on the internet and nobody knows about it unless you know how to search the forum? I should have to log into a website to find out how to play my game. That is fucking ridiculous to me.
I mean, we all got used to that from 40K. That felt good, right?
Nobody ever did that for 40K? There was a rules forum for 40K?
Many years ago, yeah. It was the one.
That was before my time.
Yeah, it was updated by Games Workshop. That's where you had to go. You'd go on there, get your fucking rules, and then you'd play the game, and then it was a shit show. But yeah, they used to do that.
Do you mean the errata documents, or there's an actual forum?
It was a forum.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was before my time.
So is this a prediction that you said? You had to be like a prediction, not a want.
No, I was just saying as a reference to what you were saying, I think. But
I mean, do you think they'll actually do that? Do you think it'll do away with the rules form and do something else?
I don't think they will, but I really hope they do. Nothing against the guys that, like, I understand moderating a forum and answering dumb rules questions all day. That is not an easy job. I'm not complaining about the individuals doing it. I might disagree with some of their rulings, but that's probably, when it gets to that point, I don't even think it's really their decision. I think they're messaging the devs and be like, hey, I'm bringing this to your attention. What's the answer? And then they send it down the line, and he just tells everybody and disseminates the information. I don't think when it comes down to that kind of stuff, I think it's more of an upper management kind of decision. But I just think that the whole premise of it, if it's something like that, you need to put it in the FAQ or errata it. And so the rules forum is a good place to find those, but you need to quickly get that information into a commonly used resource like the errata document. Like, you should not be having to check the fucking rules forum every week to see how your models work. It's an extremely dated concept anyway. So my speculation for 2022 is, I think Doom's coming out. I'm calling it. Doom and Fantastic Four are coming out.
It's not happening.
It's coming out!
It's not going to be this year. It'll happen. I don't think it'll be this year.
I think it's going to be Christmas of 22.
I don't think so.
I'll fight you.
I would be blown away. I think they could do it. They've already set a precedent, but My hot take is actually going to be a really low-hanging fruit because of what we've seen so far from the Netherlands. I think they're going to add a Shield team affiliation and a Hydra team affiliation to the game. I think they already have enough Hydra characters and enough Shield characters currently in the game that they can make a lot of like crossovers and then add a few more like Fury, and maybe a new Zemo or something like that.
Who is Shield? Like, who's in Shield
in the game?
Yeah,
Who is
both Black Widows, Hawkeye, Cap,
Captain is okay.
Sam,
Captain Marvel.
I guess Sam isn't really a Shield member because the Shield fell before Sam was really a thing. But that was in the MCU. I don't know about the comics.
Captain Marvel has been a Shield.
Pretty sure Iron Man was technically Shield too.
Yeah, he
right?
ran Shield for a while.
Yeah. So there's a good amount of the Avengers are dual with Shield.
War Machine,
She-Hulk. Yeah, Shield and Avengers were basically the same thing for a long period.
Yeah, they were very similar.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously Hydra is a lot of the Cabal characters. Everybody knows Hydra. The Hydra characters are a little bit more separated from the Cabal affiliation than the Shield members are from Avengers. Yeah, I'm interested to see how the minion mechanics are going to work. It sounds like, we might even get a Shadowlands affiliation. Who knows?
That's actually, you're right. There you go. I think that one actually might be one, and that'll make me mad. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I think Hydra would be a lot more fun. The problem is who's the leader? Like, they don't... Because Zemo, Red Skull, and Sin are all already in the game, so we're getting a duplicate of one of them if they're releasing Hydra as an affiliation.
What is that? What's the computer guy that's on?
Arnim
Zola?
Yes!
Zola.
That'd be sweet.
Zola could be interesting, but I don't think they'd make him in the game because he's not like a character. He's a machine. It's like you wouldn't bring Deep Blue to a fight, right? Like he's not gonna be there.
Yeah,
like, Zola might be involved, but he's not gonna be on the field, right?
That'd be the what?
Yeah.
If,
oh no,
Ultron.
no. He fought things. For sure. He has like a body robot suit thing. Yeah, he's fought.
It's gonna be like what's that fucking movie? Hellboy and the Golden Army, where there's that guy that's like a robot suit that's made of smoke.
Oh yeah,
he like fucking fights people. Speaking of that, did you ever guys do that when you were a kid, where you like try and catch fireflies in a jar?
Yes.
So I tried to catch some fog one time, but I just missed.
You almost had that.
I almost had it.
You almost had it. It was
how did I almost have it?
Somehow, right when you began, I could tell where you were going.
Well, yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Oh,
you gotta let him know. I gotta let you down easy because if you just walk right into it, you'll have a heart attack.
Of course. What am I thinking? Of course, they haven't put Strucker in this game. Baron Strucker, like
Strucker could work.
Yeah,
What's
you could do the
Strucker?
Gorgon. The Gorgon's also a mutant. He could be a lot of different things.
Ugh. I don't know, man.
What about
Gorgon's
another Red Skull? Just a big ass, like a different one, you know?
Yeah.
They could do a second printing of Red Skull. That would be fun. They could do Red Skull with minions and then release Hydra that way.
Yeah.
But I feel like they would have done that with Nick Fury if they're going to.
Madam Hydra. I think Strucker is actually probably something that could happen with like Fury.
I think it would be amazing if they did Zemo and Red Skull as a pack, as like a dual leader pack, and they both have a Hydra affiliation, because that would make the new leadership card let you change leaderships really fun, because they could be like fighting over the leadership. It would be really... Or they could do the convocation thing, where they just print a tactics card that's your leadership. And it could be like, cut off one head, two more shall take its place. And it's like, when one of the people dies, another person becomes the leader. And so everyone's the leader. Like, that could be really cool.
That's actually interesting. They could do something like that when they do the convocation and just print a card and not have a new leader. Well,
specifically for Hydra, I think it would work because of the way their organization works.
Right, and also,
it's like I'm gonna nominate Red Skull to be my leader, and then he dies in the game. You're like, oh, just kidding. I spend one power, and Zemo becomes the leader.
Yeah. Also, you have there's already so many Hydra characters in the game. Like you wouldn't have to. You could print one. You could print like Strucker, and then put his card in. So there you go. That's my guess. Is I think Shield and Hydra are coming. I think we'll see.
Jeremy, do you have a guess or a speculation?
I thought I already did.
Did
What
he?
was yours?
Mine was that they'll come up with better rules, some sort of packet.
Oh yeah, tournament packet. He said tournament packet.
Oh, that's right. Organized play kit. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, we can move on. So coming up, Parker, I believe you have a comic corner for us.
Yeah. So, like I said before, I've been deep in Jonathan Hickman's glorious tale about the X-Men and the post-Krakoan stuff, and I wanted to recommend to everyone who likes the X-Men but wants to read a little bit different story take. It's Hickman did not write this. It's actually done by Gary Dugan. Gary Dugan is his name. But the current Marauders book is incredibly fun to read. It follows Kitty Pryde, or as she goes by now, Kate Pryde, because her real name is Catherine. She's trying to get people to stop calling her Kitty, which is, I think, an awesome, funny take on her character. But for those of you who aren't familiar with Krakoa, Krakoan society is based upon these gates that the Krakoan flowers can make. So you plant a flower somewhere, and the gate grows, and then any mutant can travel through the gates, but regular humans cannot. And it's a way for the mutants to get basically anywhere in the universe as long as there's a flower planted in that spot. And it's how they're inviting all the different mutants who currently live on Earth or any other place in the universe to come back to Krakoa. And so Kate tries to use one of the gates, and instantly it refuses her. For some reason, like the Krakoan geobotany doesn't work with her phasing powers, and not even just her phasing powers. Her just like standard way that they like the teleportation network that it creates. She cannot go through it. So she's stuck basically only being able to get to Krakoa, the island, on a boat. So they give her the job of going and taking this boat that she has called the Marauder, and she takes it and goes and rescues any mutants that are in countries that refuse to let the mutants use the gates. So these are places that are hostile to Krakoa or are capturing and keeping mutants as prisoners of the state. And so her job is basically she's a pirate, and she goes around and rescues people. And it also focuses on the Hellfire Trading Club, which is the black market version of the Krakoan industrial might, is how they get their medicines into places that that won't publicly sanction the stuff. And so there's two stories going on where she is not only the captain of the Marauder, but she's also the Red Queen in the new Hellfire Club. So it follows her doing both jobs, and it's an incredible amount of fun to read. She's a great character. And the if you like high seas kind of adventure stuff mixed with mutants and political intrigue, there's a lot of this comic is wearing a lot of hats, but it pulls them all off very well. The members of her crew are Storm, Iceman, Pyro, the original, Bishop, and Lockheed, her dragon, and it's a fantastic read. It's really fun. I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
Where does she get the dragon from?
Where is Lockheed from? Oh, because it's been part of her like character forever. Where did Lockheed the dragon come from? I'm reading. Okay, so it's an alien. It's not a mystical creature. It's an alien, and she names it Lockheed after a fairy tale that she told Ileana Rasputin, who later becomes Magic. She's telling her a fairy tale one day, and in it, the mutants are all fictionalized fantasy characters, and she calls the big dragon they ride, which is the Blackbird, she calls it Lockheed, based on the fact that Lockheed Blackbird is and so later they go on an actual adventure, and Kitty meets a purple dragon on this other planet where they're fighting the Brood, and it takes a liking to her, and so she calls it Lockheed. And yep, they're a highly advanced extraterrestrial race. And they look like dragons, but they're just aliens, extremely smart aliens.
Okay, cool. Alrighty, well, thanks for the comic corner. Are you very excited to see where the current Marvel storyline ends for the X-Men?
Oh, they're already like pulling on the threads of it. Oh man, I don't want to put any spoilers in here for anybody here who loves reading about this. But they're already pulling at the threads of it, and some of these stories Hickman is responsible for right now are so wonderful. Of course, he's responsible kind of for everything, like ballooning out and then coming back together.
He's the Kevin Feige of the comics.
Yeah, basically. And so the stuff he's personally pinned is fantastic, but the stuff that's underneath it is great. And it's actually really interesting because this is the first time I know of a comic that's taken this big of a sprawling like family of characters and tried to make them all interact with each other at the same time. I can't think of another example like this, because usually it's the X-Men and it's about 4 members of the X-Men in a couple issues long, and then it'll be some other members of the X-Men, and then maybe they have to beat a big bad guy, so it's maybe 10 members of the X-Men. But it's never, you don't ever focus on more than that. But with all of these titles all cooperating at the same time, it's really something. In fact, it's made it hard to collect because I don't know if did I tell this story on the podcast last time?
I don't think so.
I was trying to make my Christmas list, and I try to do mostly graphic novels, mostly for just like pragmatic sake. It's a lot easier to keep them and have them than it is to have individual issues just piling up in boxes everywhere. And so I was putting my Christmas list together, and I had all these X-Force and Marauders and X-Factor, Excalibur, and the traditional X-Men, all from this new Hickman like grouping. And I wanted the X of Swords, which is one of their big crossover events recently. And the X of Swords graphic novel is like a nonsensical number. It's like $80 or something insane. And I was like, why is this thing so expensive? And so I clicked on the thing, and it said that it contains like one issue called X of Swords. Creation is like the first issue that establishes the story. And then it takes one issue of Marauders, one issue of X-Factor, one issue of Excalibur, one issue of Wolverine, one issue of X-Men, one issue of X-Force. And you're like, you have to have all of these, but I'm already going to have all of those in other graphic novels, if that makes sense.
I see.
So now
they're overlapping a ton.
Right. So the graphic novels. Yeah. So if you buy a Marauders graphic novel, like I'm suggesting, folks do for Comic Corner today, which is there are 3 volumes of Marauders graphic novels out right now, but there's also many issues since then. But the Marauders title doesn't have any crossover in the graphic novel. But if you buy the X of Swords title, you're going to buy a bunch of other stuff you may already have in other graphic novels. So if you do like the online service, you don't run into this, or if you buy individual issues, you won't run into this. But if you're trying to collect graphic novels, be careful. So I actually had to put, for the very first time in like 20 years, I told somebody to buy me individual issues of a comic because I wanted just the X of Swords 1, 2, and 3, which was the primary storyline of that.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, not as exciting. I was super excited for the X of Swords thing. I was really pumped for it, and it was just fine. It was important to like the Star Wars, not Star Wars. It was important to like the X-Men and the Marvel Universe for sure, but it wasn't very gripping. I wasn't super excited by it.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, thanks for doing that.
You still haven't seen Spider-Man, huh?
Nope.
Unacceptable.
Did you watch No Way Home, though? Or, sorry, Far From Home?
Not yet.
God damn it. Parker! You had one job. How about your New Year's resolution is you watch 2 fucking movies?
My big goal before Tuesday when I go back to work is to see that movie by Tuesday. That's my big goal. I have a couple days left. But my actual New Year's resolution is I have in March I'm going on a 6K, off-road 6K in a park in Arizona, and so I have to be ready for that. My actual New Year's resolution is I have to be able to run 6K and not die in a desert in Arizona.
Have you considered not doing that?
Oh no, I'm actually super pumped about it. This sounds like it sounds like I was sad about it, but no, I'm exactly the opposite. I love trail hiking. I love it, and I actually like desert hiking a lot. My wife does not like desert hiking, and that's who I'm doing the 6K with. And then we're going to do a bunch of other hiking around Sedona, Arizona. But the 6K, she loves running, and so she's super excited to run a 6K in the desert. I love the desert, but I know she does not like the desert. And so I do not know why she's excited about this, because every hike we've ever done in the desert, she complains about it the entire time. But I love the desert, so I'm excited.
You're weird.
Well, the desert in March is actually pretty mild. It's not like insanely. It's actually the wet season in Arizona, so there'll be a lot of water on the ground.
You'll be in the quicksand.
It's mostly Red Rock stuff, but I am really excited to do trail run. I love hiking a lot, but I've never done the point was to run, and everybody else on the same trail is going to be running. That's not something I've ever done before. So I got a lot of hills around my house. I'm going to be running up these hills the next 6 weeks. Next 6 weeks. Next like 9 weeks, making sure I can get it better at this. Sarah and I, neither of us are planning on actually running the entire thing step for step. So I don't have.
Oh, so you're a bunch of fucking liars.
I think that we have neither of us have ever trail run before. We are both keeping our expectations nice and low, and then we'll be pleasantly surprised if we get there and we're like, yeah, we'll just run this whole thing. She does run 5Ks and 10Ks and everything in between, like on the reg. She does it constantly, but it's always like on a virtually, virtually or pavement. Yeah, she does it virtually on her treadmill or on pavement, and so she says she has no illusions about this being much harder than that. But we'll see.
Okay, cool. Well, hopefully you guys had a good time. We're gonna go and wrap it up here. This has been Brandon.
And Dr. Amanda Stabagan, MD.
And Jeremy.
And this has been Parker Doesn't Watch Movies.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down infamous.
Brandon, do you mean for your camera to be off? Don't turn it.
I just haven't.
I was like, don't turn it on, because as soon as you do, your whole system will crash, and then we have to start over.
And it's going on.
Oh no.
He's running the gauntlet.
He doesn't care.
I'm not frozen. I was trying to be frozen. Did it work?
They look great.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah, it was weird. So we basically, the whole day happened in reverse. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's
No,
what happened.
it doesn't make sense.
So the carriage ride around the plaza was supposed to, I had an appointment for 8 p.m. And so Tiffany, I tried to get a reservation at Cheesecake Factory for 6 o'clock, but they had no reservations. So Tiffany showed up at like 5:15 to like ask for a table, and they said 2-hour wait. So I was like, okay, well that's not ideal. But if you get in line now, maybe we can get seated a little early if things go well.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll still be able to make the carriage ride. So I was like, just go ahead and get us in line. We'll figure it out. So I get there. Finally get parked and everything at like 5:45. So I go talk to her, and I asked the hostess, like, okay, well, is the wait still 2 hours? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, still 2 hours, and we'll text you when we're ready. It's like, okay. So I told her, look, let's just walk down to the carriage place and see if we can get the carriage ride now, even though the reservation's at 8.
Mm-hmm.
So we get down there, and there's a line, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe we can wait like half an hour and get the carriage ride. We'll still be there before our dinner appointment.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked them at the kiosk, and they're like, yeah, you can move it if we're available. And I was like, well, and so they're like, does 6:10 work? And I'm like, it's like 6:05. I'm like, yes, that's fine. It's like, yeah, that will be okay. And then and then they ended up switching us over to the like Cinderella carriage thing, which is like the couples one. And so anyway, carriage ride, whole thing, we're done at like 6:15 or 6:25. Like it takes no time to do it. It's like, oh, okay. So we go down and we walk back. We stop at a couple stores on the plaza. We get back to the place at like 7. So we have like 30 minutes. But then we end up waiting like until like 7:45 to get seated. And so it was like a 2.5 hour wait for cheesecake. We basically end up making friends with the freaking people waiting with us.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. They were there for her daughter's birthday. They go every year.
It's
What,
because
so
of the
these-
Kelsey jersey.
These people that you met friends with, that's why they were there?
Yeah, they go every year on that day because their daughter likes Cheesecake Factory.
Oh. Look at that. You made friends. I thought
Yep.
you just had us as friends, but now you have more friends.
Speaking of friends, my best friend came over today.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Mr. David Jones.
What?
Yeah, no, he came over to my house today, and he looked at my spare room. He might move in. We'll see.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who is David Jones?
Good guy.
He's the big guy with the beard. He kind of plays MCP, but he mostly just hangs out.
Mm-hmm. Good guy.
You definitely
Strong
have
guy.
met him. You
Yeah.
might not know his name.
He loves every game, so he
Gotcha.
has some part of every single game. That's what he
Did he
does.
play a bunch of Netrunner?
Yes.
Yes,
I
did.
know who he is then. Yep.
He's played a bunch of everything. I don't know if there's actually anything he hasn't.
If you've played it, he's played it. Odds are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. At the most recent time, as far as I know, Dave technically plays X-Wing, Marvel Crisis Protocol, Netrunner. He actually is still playing Netrunner. He plays UFS.
Monster
he
Apocalypse.
plays the Lord. I don't know if he bought Monpok. He might have. I think he did. He plays a bunch of role playing games. He was into the L5R card game.
Mhm.
Yeah, he does fucking everything. Also plays video games. He's gonna play Minecraft with us, Parker.
Nice. Us. You make us sound like I'm part of the us.
Yes, you're playing.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, Jake's playing as well.
What is? I mean, I'm not mad about it, but why would you want to play Minecraft with more than one person?
You seem mad about it.
Okay, I'm a little mad about it. Why do
It's
we?
fun.
Wait,
It's just
okay.
like everything. Everything's more fun when you get to play with a bunch of people.
Okay, I have heard of this other game. So as soon as I got this new rig for Christmas, this, by the way, this will be the last podcast on this old computer. So we're going to see a little adventure we're all going to have next time when I find out if I can actually make it all work. But
Yeah, please don't wait to set it up till Wednesday.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
on top of you.
Okay.
But since I have this new rig, somebody has told me that there is a game like Minecraft out there, and that there's no point. It's just go collect, build, go collect, build.
Sandbox, yeah.
But it's not Minecraft. It's a Viking game. Oh shit, what's the name of it?
Valheim.
Yeah, that's it. They said it's a
Yeah,
lot.
I own it.
Oh really? They said it's a ton of fun, but it's super no fun without friends. It's just like
Yeah, you have to play as a group.
Yeah.
It's along the lines of like Oblivion, where you kind of got to know what you're doing, or else you just get lost in like the muck.
Hmm.
It's basically Elder Scrolls meets Minecraft. It's okay. I didn't dislike it, but it felt really tedious.
When just out of curiosity, this is not me trying to poke at it. What makes Minecraft not tedious in the same way that Valheim is tedious?
Because when you start off, everything is tedious, and that's kind of the point. But when in Minecraft, you advance past the part where everything starts getting easier. And so basically, once you put the time in, if you want to have like a bunch of resources, you can just go get a bunch of resources. Like the rate at which you can collect is determined about the rate at which you can build. And if that makes sense. Like you can get like magical enchantments on your gear and stuff, and better quality gear to where you can like collect resources and mine at just such an absurd rate. And the whole point is once you get like effectively rich in the game, you can build some really cool stuff. As we're like in Valheim, like you can build gear and weapons and stuff, and there's like a tech tree. It's like, okay, well, my bronze armor is not very good anymore, but now I found iron, so I can build iron stuff. And they're like, there's that progression still, but you can't like go build a redstone machine that like does stuff. Like you can build some crazy shit in Minecraft because they basically made it like literally the sky is the limit. Like anything you can imagine, you can make. Like people built functional computers in Minecraft. Now don't get me wrong, Valheim is just a very different game.
Mm-hmm.
If you want more of like an RPG style like grind, that's definitely more your game. And it looks better. If you're super into the graphics, it will be better.
Interesting.
I need to do one more attack in this Doom raid before we can start. How's your guys' days going? Anything cool happen?
I got my vaccination yesterday afternoon.
Nice.
I started my booster vax and my flu vaccine at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
And now you're dead.
I was very dead this morning. Like, if you would have asked me to do podcasts like 8 hours ago, I don't think I would have been able to make it to the chair. But my fever broke, and my stuff is currently like, all my meds are currently holding me up, so I think I'll be able to do this cast. But man, I was not good earlier today. Not good.
My cook caught COVID, so now I'm fucked all weekends. I'm really excited about it.
Oh yeah, you actually have COVID?
One of my cooks does, yep. And that means I get to work, so suddenly my weekend I do not get one.
Oh, I see. I took what you said as I have COVID, so my weekend is fucked. I see.
No, if I get COVID, my weekend blows wide open.
Yeah,
I then
now I
get
can
14
do whatever
days.
I want.
Yeah. Actually, I get like 5. I get 5 days because I'm boosted up and all that. But no, it really sucks. It's the worst kind of COVID. Someone else has it, and I have to do their job.
It's the kind of COVID that fucks up your life without giving you anything.
Mm-hmm. I'm all about the free stuff. I'll take the free days and all those things. Did you guys finish Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Wow. Well done. Everyone's caught up. Excellent. Good job. Apparently Boba Fett, the new one, is on. I just saw that's out.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't spend some time doing that today, but I'm actually not that mad. I find that when I'm sick, if there's something I'm really excited about, that I end up, what's the best way to put it, like, I don't enjoy it as much, obviously, because I'm sick when I'm doing it. So I'm kind of glad that I did. Yeah, I'm excited.
Do you know the storyline behind that? Like, I don't even know what that's about. Other than Boba Fett.
The book of Boba Fett.
Did you see The Mandalorian?
It picks up after The Mandalorian.
Yeah, so he goes back to Jabba's palace and takes over.
Yeah, he basically starts his own criminal empire, from what I understand. Mm-hmm. I'm excited. It looks good.
Yeah, all things Disney. I'm excited about. I just watched some of The Mandalorian again. I was getting bored, so I just kind of put it on in the background. It's so good. I forgot how good it was.
It's a good rewatch too. I was pretty surprised. That was what really got me, was how good it was on the rewatch, because it's very dry. It's like a Western, but it rewatches very well.
Mm-hmm. See, I think Westerns are really fun to rewatch. I don't know why. They feel like comfort food with Westerns. I can almost always rewatch a Western. It's so easy.
Well, I think maybe it's because the Western style, it's like it's all in the gravitas and the subtlety. And so you can watch it and appreciate it every time, as where like action movies, it's good eye candy, but once you know the thing explodes, it gets a little old.
Yeah, like I can watch the movie Unforgiven like probably forever. If you told me I had to watch Unforgiven every day before I go to bed, I'd be like, okay, that's fine.
Like, that's going to really eat into my free time, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also like how you basically can plop into any episode, and they're all very episodic. So, like, it doesn't really matter too much, the whole storyline. You know, they just kind of all, oh, that guy's cute. He's running around with that guy. Oh, okay, cool. What's their adventure this time?
Oh my god, sorry. Date night, I'm still catching up on everything. That's funny. Okay. Did we have news today? I think there was some news, right?
Only the thing we already knew. Did you see my blurb I put in there?
I have not opened it yet.
The only thing we have learned is that Nick Fury's coming to the game, which we already knew.
So we'll talk about that later. Did you see the thing they posted today on Twitch? Twitter, sorry, not Twitch. Twitter.
That's the thing we already knew. What Jeremy posted?
No, I don't think. Well, I haven't seen it. I haven't been on. I just saw it this morning.
Well, Jeremy put something on there like, "Hey, I didn't notice this before," and it's about Clea, a model that's been out for 2 weeks. So
yeah. So what was the thing about Clea? Was it anything, or was it just boring crap?
No,
It
it
was
was
just-
nothing.
Just like
Okay.
Clea is coming to Marvel Crisis Protocol. That was literally it.
I just like the 3D thing they did, the rendering. It's just kind of like, oh, that's cool.
I got about 30 seconds. I'll be ready to start. So what are we talking about tonight? You know what we should do? We should do 12 Days of Christmas.
We already did that.
What? Did we? Did I forget that? I don't think we've done that.
I'm
Did
pretty
it.
sure there's a musical version.
Show me
of it.
one piece of evidence that we've done that. And I'll show you a liar. We could do New Year's resolutions since this will come out on New Year's Eve.
That's a common one. Nothing wrong with that, I suppose.
I've just been listening to Always Sunny in Philadelphia podcast, so I'm very behind on my podcasting listenings.
I was listening to episode 11 on the way home. That was a
What-
pretty fun one. You
Well,
have to park closer to the pole.
what's really funny is like I expect them to talk about the episode, but they never do. They just bullshit.
They try sometimes. Well, the funny thing is, like, because everyone assumes that they are their characters because they don't understand the satire.
Uh-huh.
But they are their characters, but their characters are the one versions of them with no human empathy,
Uh-huh.
and so it's just different. And so, like, they still talk about random bullshit all the time, and they can't stay on topic. Alrighty. I got 2 beers left. 1 more beers than I thought I had.
You're at +1 beers.
Plus 1 free beers. Call me Dos El Biros from now on. Oh wait, I just opened one. Never mind. Call me Uno O Birzo. Oh no, I don't speak Spanish. Anyway. So what are we talking about?
You got me.
I don't mind the idea of New Year resolution, but I had an idea inspired by our conversation at the game, which was when is a 4-pointer worth it? Because Jeremy is quite convinced there are some 4-pointers that aren't worth it, and I thought that was interesting.
Most 4-pointers
Yeah.
are not
Some
worth it.
majority.
And so it's interesting to, like, the 4 points have become this weird kind of breaking part of the game. I think it's interesting. And so I was like the talk about discussion of like 4-pointers. Like, do you ever even take a 4-pointer other than to balance points? Is it ever better to take two pointers? When is it better? And of course, it's very subjective for your list. Is like the miniature answer, but how do you look at a 4-pointer and go, not possible to take this 4-pointer, and you just put it away? That was an idea inspired by the.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't hate that. We could talk about that. I don't know how much we'll get out of it, but
I do think the New Year's resolution thing is not a bad idea. Is there something more we can do with it, though?
I'm pretty pissed that the Las Vegas Open hasn't opened any spots.
Las Vegas Open is less open than we originally thought.
It is
We're
no
gonna call it the
open.
Las Vegas closed.
It has been closed. It is closed. I mean,
Well, I've actually wondered as COVID things ramp up. I wonder. I'm assuming it's going to keep going. Like, they're going to keep it.
yeah,
That's gotta
I'm
be the
guessing
reason
all
why
this
they're
shit's
not
going to
opening
shut
up
back
anything.
down.
Yeah,
You think so?
I think so. It's heading that way. In the Midwest, we are kind of strange here in the Midwest that we're still opening and doing a lot of things because a lot of places are not.
Yeah, like it's like business as usual everywhere I go.
That is odd.
Most places are almost exactly as the Chiefs were. Like, more people have it now than have ever had it. Like, everywhere I
Well, that's
know
the
about.
NFL nationwide. It's not just the Chiefs. Like,
Is it?
The NFL hit like double the amount of people that had been on the COVID list all year in 1 week, and then doubled it again the next week. Like, I want to say the Rams had 26 people on the COVID list
Oh my
at one
God.
point. Yeah, but I mean, it was like midweek, and so a lot of them came off the COVID list. But yeah, it was ridiculous. But I mean, they're all vaccinated, so it's like there's basically no symptoms, and they're all fine. It's just like technically we're taking them out because they're just going to give it to everybody else. I don't know. I thought the whole point of the vaccine was like you're basically not in danger if you get it. There's like very mild symptoms. Like, isn't that the whole point?
I've
Yeah,
given up on
what's
trying
your-
to figure the point out.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you? What was your question?
So with the vaccines,
Mhm.
the whole point was like they don't actually stop you from contracting it. They just make it to where your body can easily fight it off, right?
They don't 100% prevent it. No, they do make
Right.
it more difficult to
You're-
contract, and
yeah.
yeah.
So you're less likely to contract, but also if you do contract, generally speaking, the symptoms are far more mild and less severe.
Right, that your chances of having
Yeah.
extreme symptoms are lowered. Yeah,
hmm
it's all about just like improving your chances of your immune system being able to deal with COVID-19, which is what all
Mhm.
vaccines do. And the more people that get vaccinated, the less disease state is present. And when the disease state is, people get. This is the reason why, even when we've seen it contracted in very small children, it doesn't get transmitted very well. It's because they get it, but they don't have extreme symptoms, so they don't go sneezing on other people and giving it to other people, right? So. So that's the idea too, is even if you get it and you have it for a week before you know you actually have the disease, you're not just transmitted to everyone because you're not sneezing all the time.
Yeah.
Because that's part of the insidious problem of COVID is you can have it for a long time and be giving it to other people and not know it. And the vaccine helps with that a lot because you're likely, not purposely, but perfectly, but you're likely not going to be distributing it to others because your symptoms aren't that extreme.
Yeah.
But despite the vaccination and all that stuff, there are still some places where population centers are so dense and the spread is still so intense if they let people come together, and the vaccination rates are just not high enough for the vaccine to prevent the spread to vulnerable populations, and that's why places like New York and basically East and West Coast. That's the reason why the East and West Coast are still very much shutting down a lot of stuff.
Okay. Now I have to come up with a New Year's resolution, though.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Jeremy, what's your resolution?
Just in general? What is the one I'm
No,
coming
for
up
Marvel Crisis Protocol.
with? I don't have one.
Oh, well, you're irresponsible. You should have had one.
Okay, let me think. Play more Marvel Crisis Protocol? I don't know.
Stop working all the time so you can play.
I know. Gotta get rid of this losery fucking job I keep having to do.
Yeah. If you quit your job, you'll have way more time to play games.
That's a fact.
Mhm.
If I concentrate on the things that matter, I can really move the needle. I think
Yeah.
my work life is really getting in the way of my gaming life. I
Yeah.
think we figured something out here, guys. Thank you.
Mhm.
Also, your family life. Just don't ever see your kids again. And
That's
you'll get a
true.
lot
The
more games
kids,
in.
the kids really are getting in the way now that I
Yeah.
think about it.
You just come back into their lives the moment they're old enough to play the game.
Oh my
And then
god, it's
no
just like
problem,
over
yeah.
the top.
Yeah, just like over the top. As soon as your kid is old enough to arm wrestle, back into
Yes.
his life.
Oh my god, finally. I finally connected my loves. The loves of my
Sylvester
life.
Stallone, master of fucking parenting, right there. I want my kid to live in a tractor trailer with me and just do fucking arm curls all day. Also, hang out with really seedy people in bars.
That also randomly have people in the bar that are ready to arm wrestle in a moment's notice.
Yeah, and know you by like your reputation. It's like, so have you ever eaten in this horribly disease-infested place before? He's like, yeah, everyone here knows me. I arm wrestle real good.
Oh, yeah.
Like, who the fuck are you? Like, this isn't a real life thing.
Yeah. Every time I drop into Iron Skillet, I'm like, who's here to arm wrestle? Nobody. I don't understand. I've been misled.
Oh boy. I had cheesecake.
Well done. What did you have? Which kind?
I got the regular cheesecake, and then we shared the wasn't it? Fuck, what's it called? Oh, I'm blanking on the name of it. It's the one with coconut on it.
The Almond Joy?
No, it's a type of pie.
Coconut cream pie?
Yeah, coconut cream pie cheesecake. We split that.
Hold on, coconut cream pie cheesecake.
Yeah.
What a weird. That's like a turducken. Like what?
Yeah.
It's just a version of cheesecake that tastes like a thing that's already a dessert.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, they do the same base as the coconut cream pie cake, and so that's the base instead of having a graham cracker crust. And then they do like coconut in the cheesecake.
Hmm.
It's pretty good.
I haven't had one there that I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine they're all good. The problem is, a lot like when you tell somebody to make cheesecake, they make the New York style cheesecake. When you tell someone to make a non-traditional cheesecake, they always put chocolate on it, and I'm like, well, I don't like chocolate, so I don't.
How many people are you just walking around and telling them to make cheesecake for you? Because that's like the rudest thing I've ever heard. That's not an easy cake.
There's a decent amount. Like this amount is less than 0. How many people do you tell to make you cheesecakes?
You like go to Thanksgiving. You're like, who's going to be making the cheesecake?
That wasn't rhetorical, Jeremy. I'm actually curious how many people are making you cheesecakes.
Nobody makes cheesecake.
Those are rookie numbers. You got to get those numbers way up.
My wife made a cheesecake once. It was amazing.
It's worth burning a couple relationships just so you can have more cheesecake in your life. Let's be honest. What's more important?
Apparently, cheesecake takes a long time. My wife made it once, and she's like, I don't know if this could ever be worth it again. It took so long to make it.
Yeah, you got to let it cool real slow or it'll split. Like, they're really, like, delicate.
Mm-hmm.
Or like you get them from the freezer, and it's from the Cheesecake Factory, because that shit is, like, outsourced now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if I could get potato skins at fucking Walmart, then yeah, I'm pretty sure we can get fucking Cheesecake Factory cheesecake.
So one of the things about Cheesecake Factory is, since I work in food, I've always been like, how the fuck do they have their menu so big? They have more fucking items on their menu. Their cooks have to be insane. Like, the number of drawers that they must have that are, like, full of, like I don't know, sides and items and, you know, like...
They have, like,
bits
orange
and bobs.
chicken, burritos, breakfast tacos, like, there's all kinds of shit. Like,
they got
Italian
everything.
Stuff, steaks, sliders, burgers.
I've never heard...
veggie platters.
I've never heard of anyone that's bigger than that. Like, the number of items they have is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Parker, I have I told you so for today.
I told you so. Okay.
Yeah. Shatterstar was definitely an X Factor. You're insane. He was like one of the founding members. People definitely love it when you make those weird noises. That's definitely not like a thing people will turn the podcast off for.
I remember my X Factor being Polaris, Havoc, Multiple Man, Strong Guy.
That's like the current one.
No, that's the original one. Like,
that's not the original one.
It wasn't Wolfsbane. No, she was Excalibur. It was the Feral. Feral was the other one. I don't remember Shatterstar ever being a member of X Factor. You're positive?
100%.
Okay,
I thought he went from New Mutants. He just went from New Mutants to X Force.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Shatterstar was in X Force for sure. He was like one of the member original. Okay, so apparently the formation of X Factor. Oh, apparently the original X Factor. Okay, now this is weird. The original X Factor was actually Cyclops, Beast, Jean Grey, Archangel, Iceman. What?
I think you mispronounced X-Men.
No, that's what it says.
I know. I'm just kidding. Well, my understanding of X Factor was it's basically a hit squad sanctioned by the government that like uses them as like SEAL Team 9 or whatever, and they just send them to go deal with problems. That was my understanding of X Factor.
No. Man, this is just okay, I guess I don't know what the fuck X Factor is, because this talks about X Factor.
You probably picked it up on a reboot and didn't realize it was a reboot at the time.
Because
okay,
this says the members were Russell Collins. Who the fuck is Russell Collins?
Is that Richter?
No, Richter is on the list, but Russell Collins is named.
I don't know who Russell Collins is.
Rusty. What the fuck is this? Powers and abilities. Who's X Factor trainee? He's a New Mutant who's pyrokinetic. He's like a pyro guy. Yeah, you're right. I do remember that X-Force was affiliated with the federal government for a while. I do remember that, but yep, I'm going to call a big. I'm reading the history right now, and none of this is. Where's Havoc and Polaris and Strong Guy?
That's all new stuff. That's what I'm
New
telling
stuff.
you.
No, that's not new stuff. That was like written in like 1990s.
Not new stuff. That's new
It's
stuff.
30 years
It's
old.
new stuff.
30 years old is
Yeah,
when I
that's
read
new.
my X Factor comic that I have with featuring those characters is from the
My
90s.
X-Factor.
That's not new.
I like to picture my X Factor as like an old, dirty old bum.
What?
And you're like about to
I
sign.
have a lot of
don't
X
understand.
Factor.
That's X
I have a lot of X Factor comic books as well, and none of those dudes that you named, Parker, are in it. Like, I don't know
who's
what
in yours.
book
So who's in
you're
yours?
talking about.
So who's in yours?
Beast, Archangel, all the ones that you listed that are a part of all the other
first
ones.
Yeah, he
Yes.
has the originals. Yeah, I remember Jeremy started collecting these in the 50s.
Okay, here it is. The governmental team. Okay,
Before computers.
so here's the governmental team, which is Valerie Cooper, assembled new X Factor for the U.S. government. There's Havoc, Polaris, Multiple Man, Strong Guy, Quicksilver, and Wolfsbane. Oh, Wolfsbane, not Feral. Okay. And their activity included fighting Mr. Sinister, the Hulk, the Pantheon, Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Yeah. Then it was a private investigations team. Now I know about that. This the newest version of them before the whole Krakoa thing is that the new X Factor team was X Factor Investigations, and that was Multiple Man formed that. It was a private investigation firm that like dealt with almost anything. No relation to the government.
They're basically heroes for hire.
Kind of, yeah, but the all mutant team, yes.
None of that's X Factor.
How do you like to picture your X Factor, Jeremy? Like a
drawn.
little, like
the
4 pound, 6 ounce little baby X Factor.
Yeah. No, my X Factor is all drawn by Jim Lee, and beyond that, I really don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could see like everything I have here is from like their plot line, but I wish I could just see like a date like by year, like why has X Factor been like 5 different things? It's weird. Definitely struggling with it. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, the X Factor stuff, which was Beast, Marvel Girl, Cyclops. Yeah. But there's also this newer one that's so weird. I have this one that's on this cover I'm looking at right now. I have this X Factor comic featuring all of them as the X-Men characters. That's so weird. Why did I forget that this existed, and why did it change?
Because it didn't fit your narrative, so you deleted it from your memory banks.
Yeah, man. This is okay. So X Factor now is totally different because X Factor now is the whole Krakoan thing, and there's not even the same roster at all. Totally different. But yeah, there you go. To answer your question, every X person has been a member of X Factor, I guess, at some point. Who gives a shit?
Nice.
Shatterstar has been a member of X Factor in the newest one when it was a detective service. He was part of the detective service.
Because he's better at you than everything, including finding stuff.
Yeah. Yep. There it is.
Nice.
We figured it out.
I think I have my New Year's resolution ready. Are you guys good on the resolutions? Did you think of one?
Yeah, I think I got a good one.
Jeremy,
I'll figure it out.
you want to just play it by ear?
Yep.
You're gonna wing it?
Yep.
Whoa. There's a big difference between winging it and seeing what happens. I heard they're making a sequel to MacGruber or MacGruber TV show. I can't
Oh,
remember.
no, it's a
a new
sequel.
show.
Oh, it's a show?
It's a sequel.
Yeah.
I want to say I think it was a show.
I saw a like a preview clip of it or whatever. I thought it was a movie, but it's possible. I didn't watch to the end of it. I was cringing so hard by about 45 seconds in. I decided to leave. I was not gonna lie. It was there. I guess I don't know if it's like a different time in my life when I thought MacGruber was amazing, but I feel like if I watched MacGruber now, I would.
No,
be...
MacGruber is still amazing. It might just be one of those lightning in a bottle situations, though. Like the cast was so perfect, and they knew exactly what the movie needed to do, which is not take itself seriously at all.
I can tell you this new show from the clip I watched is very much in that vein. But
nice, MacGruber is fucking amazing.
That scene where
guys, are you okay?
Yeah.
I was crying the first time I saw that. It's like, what do you got? He's like, I got a van full of like 4 of the hardest, baddest killing motherfuckers you've ever seen, and like 80 pounds of homemade C4. And right when he sets up the fan, just fucking goes nuclear. It turns around and they're just a crater. There is none of the van left. And he's like, guys, are you okay? It's like fucking vapor. It's like, I don't think they're okay. They're not okay, man.
Yeah, that was the first time they made the Deadpool joke, right? Where everybody just the symbols hit a crack team and they all just die instantly.
And they all die, yeah.
Yeah.
God, it was so funny. Yeah, there was like a fucking 10-minute montage of him tracking all those guys down.
Mhm.
They all show up and just get blown up in a van.
Oh my god! I actually only
Oh my
made it like
God.
halfway through that movie. It just
Oh,
wasn't
God.
for me at the time.
Oh, no, you gotta try it again, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay.
I think it was. What's the
If
best
you
word for
don't
it?
know what it is going in, you're probably going to be very off-put by it, because it's very in your face, but oh man, it's so perfect. Oh, boy. Are you guys ready to get started?
Do it.
Mhm.
I like your news. That's a funny news.
You like it?
That's so bad. All right. Here we go. Start.
Go see that fucking
All-
movie.
All of this boils down
Watch
to
the
that.
movie!
Okay.
Anyway. So, Parker, is it just like you're afraid to watch at this point because you like you don't know who Joe Biden is, and at this point you're afraid to ask, or
Okay. 100%. One of
or
the
is
things
you just do it to spite other humans?
No,
like,
no,
You're like, fuck you guys.
I know what it is. One
Okay.
is I actually haven't seen Shang-Chi, and the moment I get a second to see something, I want to see Shang-Chi. That's the main reason, and the that's why it hasn't happened yet. But I think I'm just gonna have to skip Shang-Chi and come back eventually. And
Yes.
the second thing is, I already know what's going to happen. Like I know precisely what's going to happen. I just don't know the 20 minutes in between the main points. And so I'm perfectly willing to see it because you guys say it's important for me to see it, and I think it's worth it because they work really hard. I can see it, but I'm not excited to learn more and be really really surprised about the movie as a whole and the main things about it because I've already sold that it's a good movie. I'm just going to watch the entire execution of it, and it's just not very exciting. I'm not.
You know, Jeremy,
I'm
I
not
realize
fussing
something
at the
now.
seams.
You shouldn't, Parker. You shouldn't watch Far From Home and then No Way Home. You should actually go back and watch Homecoming. That way, it will set you up, and you'll get the trilogy in rapid succession. I think that's probably the best way to watch it. What do you think, Jeremy?
I would do that anyway.
Well, actually, you know what? Because you should probably go back and watch Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, and then Avengers, Age of Ultron, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. You should probably watch those as well. That way, and just in chronological order, leading up to Far From Home, because you don't want to. You want to have those wounds freshly opened.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know. And you might as well actually. Do you want to watch? You want to start with First Avenger, and then go into Captain Marvel, right?
Oh my god!
And then, actually, we should probably start with the Punisher movie.
And
All right.
and the
First
Dominator.
off, you're gonna need to start with Lord of the Rings, the cartoon version.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Citizen Kane?
the cartoon version.
Lord of the Rings, the cartoon version.
Yeah.
And
And then The Hobbit, the cartoon.
The cartoon.
And then,
yeah.
Have you ever just read the book 3 times in a row, cover to cover?
I will actually say this. This is another thing that, and maybe this might be controversial to you guys. I thought Homecoming was just fine. I was not super thrilled with Homecoming. I felt like it was a very slow movie.
Here comes Parker with his fucking terrible Southern takes that are just gonna get people to riot against our podcast.
I don't think
Parker. I don't think you
Homecoming
understand
was very exciting.
how much hate mail I get on a weekly basis, specifically involving your opinions.
That doesn't happen. I know that.
There's I get dozens of letters a week. It's just please get this guy off the podcast.
It's
this
adorable.
guy is terrible.
It's adorable that you think that happens. It doesn't happen.
There's packages. You have to actually be wary. You're like, oh no, another package.
People have mailed me poisonous spiders trying to get us to stop.
Just sacks of old food.
I
It's really bad.
think part of a podcast is having opinions. And I do think that I think that Homecoming.
Hot takes by
I think that Homecoming
Parker.
is fine. I think Homecoming was
part
just
of
fine.
podcasting is having opinions.
I do think that I actually
Hold on,
thought.
wait. Give me 1 second. Okay, I timestamped that. Go ahead.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna need that.
I think that the Vulture was amazing. I think the Vulture was absolutely like stellar, and everything about his portrayal.
You can just say Michael Keaton. That's fine.
Yeah, Michael Keaton's Vulture, sure, is I think absolutely amazing. I love everything about his story. Like, I love that they spent time on why the Vulture is the Vulture, and he's totally different from Adrian Toomes in the comics, by 100% different. And like, they completely wrote that character brand new for that movie, and for that reason, super well done, super great. But the big climax, the big climactic fight was very strange, and I thought anticlimactic. I thought it was odd how it ended. I've even rewatched the movie waiting for like that climax to make sense with the rest of the characterization, and I struggled a little bit. The awesome confrontation of the car, man, that was one of the most intensely tense, high anxiety scenes, like something straight out of a Tarantino film. We're just like, holy shit, what's gonna happen? It's so terrifying. Like, everything about that scene is wonderful. But then the actual the scene, but at the end where he's like trying to fly away with the garbage, like with the junk, and he's just like don't fly away, I'm going to, and he tries to save him and stuff, and he definitely dies but doesn't die. Like, there was a lot of things about it that I wanted some sort of catharsis and release with that climax, and I didn't get it. And I'm not mad that Adrian Toomes still exists. I love that he's still like this little criminal character that pops up as a prisoner all the time to beat other Marvel prisoners. Like, that's fine. But I struggled with the resolution of that conflict because I didn't feel like I got a very strong one. The conflict with him and Spider.
The point you were supposed to get is that you want to redeem him. Like, you want him to be redeemable because at the point you meet him, you understand everything he's done to that point. Like, you're like, okay, he's a father, he has a family, I can understand, like, he got screwed over, I can understand his motivations at this point, but at some point, he crossed the line, and he's no longer doing it for his family and for good reasons. It's now about the power, and so he was, like, beyond the point of corruption. And so at the point where he obviously should stop, he won't. And that's what that's supposed to be. I don't know if that came over especially well, but that's the way I interpreted it. And so that I think that's what a lot of people are supposed to get out of it, is that he's too far gone to save at that point. Now, and Peter's trying to save him, not stop him.
And the character, the character versus character conflict of how he's trying to meet up to Tony's expectations, and Tony is, also wanting him to be something that, wanting to be something better than he was. Like the whole the father-son dynamic that they have in the movie, that was done great. Like, there wasn't anything wrong with that, and I think the ending for that is wonderful. Like, he thinks it's a test, but it wasn't a test. And he refuses the suit. And I thought that was super strong. Like, there were a lot of things about the movie that were done very well, but it didn't feel as strong as some of the other stuff. So I'll be interested to see if No Way Home feels a lot better, if it earns its resolution, and I see the connection a little bit better. We'll see. For me, I have a really bad, and I think I don't know if this is a good thing, or I think it's probably a bad thing. If the resolution of a movie doesn't feel earned, if it doesn't feel like it has a strong climax and resolution, I really struggle with the movie. And I think that's probably a bad thing, because it totally ignores everything somebody could have been doing before that point. It could be a 5-act play, but if that 5th act doesn't give me a satisfying resolution, man, I really struggle to give a shit about the 4 previous acts. I really have a hard time. So we'll see. I'll see, because that was my only problem with
well, I don't think you have that problem with this one.
Okay.
I feel like this one gives it all to you. You get it.
Good.
Boom, it's out there.
Well, I felt like the No Way Home didn't really have any emotional payoff scenes. It's mostly just an action film. So
have you seen? Yeah, I mean, like,
Did you watch Fast 7?
No, but I just saw Fast.
It's
I
a
saw,
lot like that.
It's about family.
Parker's face is like about to throw up in your mouth.
F9. I just watched F9 the other night, and it's almost identical shot for shot.
Mm-hmm.
They
actually rename a lot of the characters in Fast 9 to the Peter Parker characters.
I actually really liked all the Fast movies. I stopped watching them after Paul died, but
oh, well, that's why you liked them.
Yeah.
They got Fast 6 was awful.
6.
7 was fine.
6 was that the heist
was
movie?
The best.
Was 6 the heist?
5
movie?
is the heist movie.
5
is the heist movie.
I really liked 5, even though it was
good.
completely ridiculous.
5 was maybe the best movie in the franchise.
Yeah, I think it was.
But then 6 was just awful. It was a lot of terrible effects. Like they just straight said, we're not going to ignore physics. We're going to straight defy them on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, the guy's doing 130 miles an hour down an overpass. And there's someone doing like 100 miles an hour on the other side of the overpass. There's like 30 feet between the two bridges, right? Mm-hmm. And at one point, like someone on the other side jumps out of that moving car off the bridge, right? So imagine the vertical height of you above the bridge jumping out of a car window. You're like 3 feet off the ground, maybe. Like pushing it, right? So Vin Diesel's character sees the person jump out the window and left turns his car at 130 miles an hour and hits the fucking embankment on the bridge, which for some reason has turned into a ramp. And he vaults this fucking bridge. His car jumps 20 feet up in the air. He opens his car door and jumps out of the car and catches the person that is 30 feet below him. And it was just like, what the fuck? It was so fucking stupid. I was like, I'm done. I'm fucking out. The guy left turned like Jesus. Like Jesus couldn't have made that left turn. Like he's in a fucking Challenger. That car would have rolled so fast.
Well, F9 they go into space. Okay, so
yeah, I've heard they go into space. But that's like a joke movie, right? Like 5 and 6, while being silly, they were trying to justify what they were doing. It was just like, use the replicator in Star Trek's like, replicator doesn't make ships, bro. Like, there's just no justification for this. It's like, just make another Enterprise in the replicator on the Enterprise. Like, you think we didn't think of that? Nobody ever pressed the replicate button? Like, come on. Anyway. Yeah, I think you'll like No Way Home.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you to see it because I want to talk to you about it because I have a lot of opinions and I think you will have similar opinions.
Guess where the best place to talk about opinions is? Parker, do it. Parker, do it.
Shit, podcast. We should start a podcast.
I'm pretty sure podcasts are about opinions. Yeah.
They should call them opinion casts.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe. What would your guys' opinion be of me doing the next episode in the Rick voice?
Oh my god. Let's not.
I figured out. I know how the guy who voices Rick does it. Did you guys hear about this?
Doesn't he actually doesn't he actually drink constantly while he's doing it?
He chugs water and beer in equal quantities right before each line. And so, yeah, he's basically just filling his stomach with carbonation and water. And so there's no room for the gas to go, and so he belches constantly. Like, all the belches are improv. Like, they just happen when they happen, which one of the reasons the show takes so long to animate. Because they have to fucking draw his mouth like exactly to the verbal line. Anyway, so yeah, is your New Year's resolution to just watch 2 fucking movies? Do you think you can get that done by next year?
No, I don't. I think I'm going to get it done by. I want to get it done by Tuesday.
Next week?
Here's my problem.
Tuesday.
If I don't get it done by Tuesday, my students are gonna screw me over. They're gonna spoil it.
That's true.
And I do not
so you
want
have
to
motivation.
spoil. I do not want to spoil.
Okay.
So I actually that's my thing is I really need to do it because if I don't, they're going to spoil it for me, and I know they're going to spoil it for me. So I must do it.
Okay. All right. So next week,
we're going
to be talking about No Way Home.
You guys are still down to watch it again, right? You were sure you'd watch it again.
Yeah. Just tell me when,
okay.
And I'll be there. Not Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Not Friday either, probably, because I have. This Friday, I have plans. I can do it Saturday or Sunday, though.
Saturday or Sunday, okay.
And if we saw if we went to like a matinee showing at like noon or 2 or 3 maybe even, I might be able to swing it on Friday, but I'd really rather do it another day. I mean, I guess I could call Tiffany and see if she wants to do it also.
Has she seen it?
Yeah, we saw it together. She really liked it. I
Everybody's
assume she would
seen
be okay
it,
seeing
but
it again.
you.
Everybody has fucking seen it.
I went to see it, and then the next
And-
day, my boys went to see it with their mother. Like, they ran, like,
Yeah.
everybody's run to see this. You're the last one.
Yeah.
Every ticket at this point is the second ticket people have bought for it.
I actually don't mind about a matinee either, because maybe there's not many people there. I'm also not excited about being in a room for 2 hours with strangers. If it's
It
packed.
makes you feel better. I don't wash my hands, and I touched you the other day, so you already have COVID. So
That's not how that works.
It's COVID dick. You get that,
Yeah.
right? That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can't believe Tiffany made it so long without ever figuring out who the Lonely Island were. Like, I can't believe she made it that long. That was funny.
Well, this is wow. We jumped. That's
yeah,
good.
we jumped topics a bit.
All right, I need to go to bed so I can be good tomorrow because I want to play games and I don't want to be sick tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Tomorrow's game day.
And I do not want to be sick on game day.